it's ambitious.
We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna, like I said, I don't think we'll see those aggressive pullbacks and that aggressive bear market. We may see a bear market, not the same way. Segue.
You got a segue? I got segues.
What's your segue?
AI.
Fair enough.
AI.
I was gonna go there.
You're gonna go there?
Yeah.
Cool. So apparently, some researchers, and I say researchers in place of hackers because they like to call themselves researchers, so they don't have like this.
I don't want to get a target on my back, so we'll just call them researchers too.
Yeah, exactly.
Why different problems?
They have created a virus type
Nice
thing.
They love creating viruses.
Yeah. So
They're
it's
worse than Wuhan.
It's a worm that infects generative artificial intelligence. Specifically, they tested it on Gemini, ChatGPT, and Lava, which I've never heard of before. I'm going to look at it after this episode. But it's a worm. It's a self-replicating worm, which is kind of what worms do. That is a prompt that's inserted into the AI that is kind of working as the email or the chat box for a company.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets that prompt and spits it back out so like whatever's been inserted will be implemented into the AI's database and used as outputs. I have the abstract that I could read so I could clarify because my explanation I feel like was donkey doo-doo. So this is a research paper called Comprompt MISD, Unleashing Zero-Click Worms that Target Gen AI-Powered Applications. The abstract goes as this. In the past year, numerous companies have incorporated generative AI capabilities into new and existing applications, forming interconnected generative AI ecosystems consisting of semi and fully autonomous agents powered by Gen AI services. While ongoing research highlighted risks associated with the Gen AI layer of agents, an example, dialogue poisoning, membership inferences, and prompt leaking, a critical question emerges. Can attackers develop malware to exploit the Gen AI component of an agent and launch cyber attacks on the entire generative AI ecosystem? So then this paper introduces Morris 2, the first worm designed to target generative AI ecosystems through the use of adversarial self-replicating prompts. The study demonstrates that attackers can insert such prompts into inputs that, when processed by Gen AI models, prompts the model to replicate the input as output, engaging in malicious activities. Additionally, these inputs compel agents to deliver them to new agents by exploiting the connectivity within the generative AI ecosystem. They demonstrate Morris 2 agents, Gen AI-powered emails assistants in 2 use cases. Spamming and exfiltrating personal data, as well as 2 settings, a black box and white box access. So black box meaning the person who's doing this has no idea about how the system is set up on the inside, versus white box meaning the person who's doing this does know the entire system from within. Using 2 types of inputs, data, either text or image, the worm is tested against 3 different Gen AI models: Gemini Pro, ChatGPT, and Lava, and various factors for propagation rate, replication, and malicious activity, influencing the performance of the worm to be evaluated. It works. So essentially, they create a prompt, put it in, and they try to get it to be as an output. And this is like particularly threatening in the fact that this is going to come from like some type of trusted agent, in this case the generative AI, that's being used by the ecosystem, and it can potentially be leaking very useful information, personal identifying information, credit cards, just a whole bunch of things that might be also internal documents that might be used within the company.
Nice.
The attackers say that this might get worse as AI starts being implemented. So their thing is attacking implementations of AI into systems, into company systems. So if AI starts being implemented into more things, the more of these type of attacks can be put onto other things. So we talked about NVIDIA putting AI on their hardware, like that, we could attack hardware. If self-driving cars implement AI, and some type of like software like that, then they could attack the self-driving cars.
But how would they get in?
So in this case, it would be like, let's say the self-driving car is gonna ask for like directions to like, oh, where are we going? Oh, I need to go to some place, and it's prompted through some type of like, instead of putting a specific address, you could be like, oh, I need to go to my aunt's house. You could type in some type of prompt into that input field that might pull up something else.
But how would they put it on though?
What do you mean put it on?
So like, how would they infect that AI model?
So it's the way that they generate the prompt. They're prompt engineers. They create a prompt specifically that would affect that the AI would process in a certain way, so that whenever some type of question or input is asked to the AI again, it would extract what was inserted through their original prompt. So then they go on to say that there are two types of kind of like forms for replication, where they either, or propagation, where it's either RAG based propagation or application flow steering based propagation, meaning that like sometimes they could just input the prompt and it automatically infiltrates the AI and starts, like, anytime someone else uses that prompt something, the AI will spit out what it's been prompted to spit out by the attackers. Or the RAG based system, where it's like, okay, we're gonna input this malicious script inside there, but then we need to call it again or do something specific to like activate it.
So my question is, they just provide a prompt?
They just provide a prompt. There is 0 clicks needed for this.
And the prompt itself just infects the AI.
Correct.
And once they recall a certain thing, it activates the AI.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So just a prompt that they are injecting into the AI that ends up being malicious in the case of like working in a way against the organization.
So in this situation, if Gemini were to get this prompt, it could infect all of Gemini?
I think it's any like instance that's being used within a company's form. Okay. I read somewhere, but I didn't really fully comprehend it. But it is possible where if it does infect it can potentially infect entire systems.
Gotcha.
But there was a whole bunch of nuance that I wasn't too familiar with. Granted, I'm not a computer scientist. I just study computers, but not science.
Not science.
Not science.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that would be a problem.
Yeah, it's like interesting stuff. They've already have a version 1, obviously, if this is the second one. Morris. What a name.
That is a name.
Morris.
Okay, I kind of get it.
I will be making sure that this research paper is in the links below.